One other thing we welcome our members to do, if you have any kind of training events going on in your business, you're welcome to promote that here as well. And I think I was talking to AJ, if you have a property coming up for next month, or not next, next month, in a couple of weeks, and you would like to actually have pictures of, just email me and I'll give you the details and do a PowerPoint slide. So when we get to the haves and wants, your property can be up here on the big screen. And it'll also be in the PowerPoint that goes on the web later. So, speaking of training, my friend, my sister, she still loves me, or she says she loves me after all this time, is Katie. And Katie, can you hear us?
I can.
Hey, we can hear you.
Yay! And David, you tell your new student that you've got a pretty face.
I have a pretty face.
Wait a minute, you back up on
pretty
that.
boy.
He's got a pretty face. Who's got a pretty face?
Oh, and Jim and Steve and David and Laura and Sherry and Manfred, everybody. And Kevin, if he's there. This is a great group. For all of you who are new, Jim is amazing. And I'm his sidekick, his former sidekick. You knew I'd try to get that in, right?
For 9 years, I introduced myself as Katie's sidekick.
So to go through your to say who I am, I specialize in, as Jim mentioned, buy and holds mostly in Columbus, Ohio, though I'm coming out this way a little bit more. So I didn't catch the name because of the sound of the person who's also in Columbus, so I'd love to get that. So, but I'll give you my phone number too. The best number to reach me is my landline, 720-890-1119. I mostly have small, single families and duplexes and a triplex in there. So that's kind of been my specialty. But Jim and I have been partners in Investors Network Community for over 8 years, almost 9 years. And we recently decided, I'm not sure how much you said at the beginning, Jim, I couldn't get on at first, but we recently decided to sort of both specialize in our areas of passion. And one of the things that has always been my passion is mastermind groups, small, intimate groups that meet consistently. For those of you who haven't been part of a mastermind group, where you build a community that helps to support your goals and kind of hold your feet to the fire through some accountability, and brainstorms with you and just supports you in general in trying to reach your real estate investment goals. So that's what I have kind of switched ink into, is more or less a mastermind method, though I will still occasionally have some online Zoom meetings about various topics and summits and other gatherings. And I'm sure we'll do some collaboration maybe around some of those holiday parties. I just got finished with my backyard, Jim. So, the summer party.
Right.
So I am going to be, and it'll be going out to all of the folks in this group as well. I'll be starting my next set of mastermind groups. I'll be having 4 groups of 5 to 7 people. So it'll just be 30, 28 or so people max that I'll be starting in October. And I only do those every so often. So that will be, and that announcement will be coming out pretty soon. But if you have any questions, Jim and I are still trying to sort out our, slowly but surely RIG versus Investors Network community. And there's still a little bit of overlap. But if you have any questions, just feel free to email me at admin@investorsnetworkcommunity.com. Or this number is good too, the 720-515-6649.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
And next month, we talked about, I don't think I have to talk about our subject next month is, but it's going to be on private lending. where you can be the bank. You got a retirement fund that you need to invest properly so it makes money. And we'll have a panel of private lenders up here. And we're also going to have a panel of, part of that panel is going to be private borrowers, people that have gone out and borrowed from lenders. Katie's going to be on the panel. A couple of different other members that's going to be. It's going to be all members. It's one thing we do here that anybody who usually steps up front here is a member. We don't just let somebody fly in. We don't let anybody just fly in out of town and step up there and try to sell you something. It's all members that's here. So that's coming up next month. So hopefully, maybe we'll have Katie here with us. If not, we're going to have to figure out how to put her face up on the screen. That's coming up. And I'm Jim. I didn't introduce myself, and I'm Jim Edenfield. I was working at I've Been Moved or Itty Bitty Machines with Steve for 7 years. And in about roughly about 8 years ago, Katie started the Inc. group, and I was there at the first meeting, and I stepped up and kind of helped her do a co-host directing it for a while, and started out doing different aspects of the real estate investing. I did the foreclosures thing. I did the probate crowd. You had a mad crowd or you had a sad crowd. So those, and then when Steve and I, we were asked to leave IBM at the same time, and massive layoff world around.
Did they really?
No, that's why they did it.
It wasn't much of an ass.
Well, you can leave, sign here, and get this little check, or you just leave.
Will you please leave? Don't let the door hit you.
If we sign the paper, we got a little check, or we could just leave. That was the only asking, which one would you want? But anyway, I had this 401k there that I took, like, what am I going to do with it? I started investing. And one of the first things I invested with it is I was a private lender to Katie on a couple of her projects. This man right here is we were both lenders to her, and we love her, and we're hoping she gets another deal soon. So get busy, Katie, in Columbus. You work with this guy, and we'll loan you guys money. So, okay. But anyway, so I started doing that, and then eventually a friend approached me because I was involved with Inc. and everything else, and we started talking about doing hard money lending. So I started funding and line solutions group. I'm a hard money broker. I'm not a lender. I'm a broker. I work with agents across the country, and they've got different packages. It depends on what you need and where you're at, and the details of you and the details of the property. We do fix and flip, we do buy and hold rentals, we do bridge funding, we do refinances, short-term, long-term. And this is kind of dried up when COVID hit, and we actually do ground-up construction. We do ground-up construction for residential, multifamily, and commercial. And I've got some lenders that does the old standard, you know, you look down, you make payments, and you get your rehab in arrears. And I've got this one lender that does this. He does a little bit different. You pay more up front, but you pay no monthly payments. Your rehab draws are in advance. You go get a check, you go do some work, you get reimbursed, you go do another check. And there's the details. The 90% LTV. No income, no tax returns, no assets, no reserves, and like I say, there are no monthly payments. The thing is, you pay 3 months of interest up front. So,
Any points?
it depends on you and the property. And the rate, the rate's going to depend on you and the property. If I got like a form that takes probably about 10 seconds to fill out, just generic, we'll get it off. First, I'll say, okay, I'll look at the project, and then I'll decide which lender to go with. But if you want to do this, the only thing here is I'm going to be real clear up front. There's more money up front, but there's no payments. And you get your rehab in advance. That's one package, several of them to deal with. So there's my name, there's my number, and my website. And like I say, next month is going to be talking about lending. So if you've got some money stored away that is sitting there and not making much on the stock market or wherever else, or heaven forbid a CD or a savings account, come and listen next month about how you can be the bank. And that brings us to Ken. I'm going to step aside and change the slides out and give him the floor.
Sounds like it's working. All right, I get to speak with you all on 1031 exchange this evening for a little bit. Try to keep it as light as I can. It's a little fast moving, so you don't fall out of your chairs. It is tax related, but as you may be aware, it can also be extremely valuable in real estate investing. I'm from Colorado Springs, down the road. Moved away for a little while. I was talking to Tanner about that with that Arizona connection, but I'm glad to be back here for over 25 years now. Time flies. I've been in the qualified intermediary business for about 8 years. I had my own firm for 6, and then we sold to Exchange Resource Group, mainly because their co-founder, gentleman named Dan McCabe, has been doing exchanges since the year Star Wars came out. Some of you might remember that. Some of you weren't around. He is one of, I think, a few intermediary specialists who have seen just about everything and can handle anything with real professionalism and expertise. So it was great for me to be able to become a part of that team. I'd like to start with a little bit of trivia, just to keep it start out lively, I guess. So can anyone tell me what the limit is on the number of exchanges, the value of exchanges in terms of dollars in and out, or the number of properties that you can have involved in 1031 exchanges as a taxpayer? Boom! Nailed it. And your prize. You know, the mail, it might be a self-defense mechanism. All right, very good. Yeah, there's no limit. So that's one of the nice things about 1031. Any taxpayer, any type of taxpayer, right? It doesn't just need individuals, but corporations, trusts, partnerships, etc., can participate in as many 1031s as they like. They can involve as many properties on either side of the exchange as the exchanger would like, and there's no limit on dollar value either. We help a lot of clients who have a small portfolio, maybe a single piece of land that's worth $50,000, but maybe they inherited it and the basis in it is 10 grand, so they've still got a sizable gain, right? It makes sense to do a 1031 all the way up to, ironically enough, the new IBM headquarters building, those jerks. Our company helped them 1031, into their new headquarters in New York City some years back. So we've covered most of the spectrum in terms of scale. All right, next one. How many states do you think have laws that protect those participating in a 1031 exchange? And this will be a multiple choice. A, none. B, about 10. C, more than 30. Yeah, I guess. So it's none? Okay, nope, that's not it. More than 30, not it. So by attrition, it's actually 11. So it is very much a exchanger beware environment. There's no federal protection for exchangers other than the code itself, which essentially says if you do this, you'll have a successful exchange. If you don't, and we happen to choose you for an audit, you're in trouble. As a follow-up to this question, can anyone name one of those states that have protections? Yes. Yes. Who said that? Well done. Yeah. Colorado has a House Bill 1054 that gives some protections, and most of those state laws came about after the crash in 2008 in the real estate market. Some QIs went out of business. Some of them took some exchangers' money with them because they had been investing in municipal bonds, real estate bonds. Those things became worthless. All of a sudden, they didn't have the money that the clients had given them, so it was pretty bad. So there are some protections in Colorado. It's not ironclad for sure. We still, sorry, lost it for just a second. Okay, last one. Is the average amount of tax deferral as a percentage? Okay. A, less than 10%. B, 15%, or C, somewhere above 20%. I'm making this up on the fly. Yes, you're correct. Can you give me a couple of the taxes that are involved that can be deferred?
Capital gains.
Yep.
Income.
Yeah, that'll work. All right, you get the grand prize.
Well,
It might get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks if you don't get too many sides with it. So it is an important thing that I like to bring up. I was actually watching a video today of an investment company who asked me to take a look at it. They do DSTs and other things. DSTs is a fractional ownership type of investment, I'm sure some of you, maybe all of you are aware of. But in their video, it says, yeah, with the 1031, you can defer capital gains. And that was my wake up point. Like, oh man, they got that wrong. That's true, but what people may not understand or realize is it's not just capital gains, right? So in Colorado, for example, if you do an exchange, yes, you get your 15 or 20% capital gains that can be deferred, but you've also got 4.63 Colorado income tax. You may well have the 3.8% NIIT, more affectionately known as Medicare surcharge or Obamacare surcharge. And then you've also got depreciation recapture. If it's anything other than raw lands, right? It probably has depreciation recapture, which is almost always taxed at 25%. So that blended rate ends up being usually low to mid 20s. If it's a corporate entity doing the exchange, of course, it can be much higher because that corporate federal rate can be much more than capital gains. Okay, let's get going here. I hope I'm going to use this correctly. There we go. All right, so that's me. That's my number. I guess what I bring to the group is hopefully 1031 expertise. If you throw something at me that's wildly complex, then I'm going to go get Dan, and we'll solve it if I can. So I'm confident we can help you with any scenario you might come up with for a 1031. That CES designation is the only designation in the industry for QIs. It's Certified Exchange Specialist, and just means I went through a course of study, took an exam to say, okay, I'm fairly proficient in this. I know what I'm talking about for the most part. And again, I'll tell you if I'm not sure, and I'll get my team involved to help out. All right, so our objectives. What is the 1031? We'll talk about some requirements to have a successful exchange. Roles and best practices of the QI, that's what my firm does. Options, challenges, opportunities, and then kind of a longer term picture of the power of 1031s.